we are going to offer the floor to Deputy Luis Eduardo Martinez. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. President Rodriguez remembered a phrase that some are given to Skilo and others to Senator Johnson of the U.S., and who died the same day in which the U.S. launched the atomic bomb against Hiroshima. In a war, the first victim is the truth. And although some of us are having struggles to recognize this, Venezuela is under a warfare and is harassed, because how to qualify the sanctions, the economic sanctions that are being imposed on the country over 10 years already and affecting all of Venezuelans, how to call what in the past few weeks have been a brutal attack, media attack that is generating uncertainty and concern, and that war can only be defeated through the most firm unity, national unity. I had the opportunity to participate along with deputies Infante, America, and Nicolás Maduro, and of course President Jorge Rodriguez in almost all of the installations of the councils of sovereignty and peace, regional ones and sectoral ones. And I want to tell you that it is massive, the participation. It is massive as well, the interventions, the enthusiasm. And by the way, they are not in their majority from men and women, but that are linked to officialism. They are actually, most of those who participate in these events are mostly defending, believing in ideologies, different ideologies, but at the point that we are at, that is the sovereignty of the territory, the one that is under threat, and peace, they have no doubts. We have no doubts that we need to, utilizing a phrase that I just heard, we need to be one. We are one in the defense of the sovereignty, and we need to be one in the defense of sovereignty and peace. In one of the many installations, recent installations that were made with the foreign communities, we had the opportunity to listen to very emotional interventions from men and women, from second and third generation of migrants. Their fathers, their parents and grandparents arrived in Venezuela from situations of war, from Europe, from the Lebanon as well, from other nationalities as well, that they were remembering the tragedies that were left by their parents and grandparents, and that compromised us further. And there at that point, I remembered a number that, when it's just statistics, could mean very little. I remember by memory 25 million of wars in the First World War, 105,000 of that in the Second World War, 1 million of that in the Civil War of Spain, another millions in Syria, in Libya, in Iraq, 67,000 recent murders in the occupation of Gaza, in the massacre and the tragedy of Gaza, and how many wounded, and how much destruction. And it's so simple to say the numbers, the statistics, but the pain is the one that cannot be forgotten or transmitted. How many orphan children, how many houses destroyed, how much tragedy left in each of every one of those conflicts. Venezuela is at peace, and I insist in the interviews that it is enough for us to shut down our cell phones and go out to the streets, to have the opportunity to share with Venezuelans. That is true, they have their own problems exist in their daily life, but nothing else matters than preserving peace. The single war battle that we need to face is that of the peace. That was written by a few years ago, the French writer Albert Camus. That's the phrase that was launched in an editorial that was published 2 days after of the bomb against Hiroshima and a few hours after of Nagasaki. The only battle that is there to be battled is that of peace. Great part of those who are here have a very close relationship, that our families know each other. You are co-protagonist of that battle for peace. Any one of us could say it is important the role of the Bolivarian Armed Forces, and it is. It is important the role of the President of the Republic, of ministers, of the executive power, deputies, parliament, the members of the citizen power, popular power, and the members of the commune institutions and labor institutions. But I dare to say, seeing you up close, that in this kind of importance scale, you, the editors and directors of news media, and I'm very happy that here we have a huge representation of news media from the interior of Venezuela, are perhaps the ones who have the greatest responsibility. The truth will be imposed on behalf of your capacity, each and every one of you, and the news media you lead, to transmit and to make peace the most important element for Venezuela in this battle for Venezuela that we are facing. So I invite you, in representation of the country, the non-official country, to go hand by hand to face the harassment, and let's make possible that very soon we can build together the future, the tomorrow that we want. It is so close. October will fly by, and until November and December, the people of Venezuela deserve to live at peace and deserve to spend Christmas of a true joy. In a few hours, in the San Pedro Square, Your Holiness, the Pope, will canonize the 2 first saints of Venezuela, Dr. Jose Gregorio Hernandez and Carmen Rendiles. The President didn't mention it, and so I'm going to take the opportunity to recall this. When the United Kingdom, Germany, and weeks after Italy blocked the ports of Venezuela, there was a huge demonstration of unity, of national unity. Jose Gregorio Hernandez, physician, was the first one who opposed it and who put himself at the orders of the country. And also we need to remark that El Mocho Hernandez, that from Joaquin Crespo faced with the arms to the governing elites, Jose Gregorio Hernandez, both of them symbolize the capacity of Venezuelans to leave behind hatred and differences, to unite ourselves in enthusiasm in defense of our national interests. Jose Gregorio Hernandez will be canonized on Sunday with one single miracle. The Pope Francis, thanks to the devotion, a popular devotion, exonerated from a second miracle, and one miracle opened the doors for him, but the church demanded that, but he made a second miracle. We will ask for him a third miracle, that Jose Gregorio Hernandez and Carmen Rendiles will guarantee all forever peace, the peace and sovereignty of Venezuela. Thank you very much.